Is that a ice?
Yeah, Smirnoff. I just felt like drinking something different. It ain't bad. It literally just tastes like lemonade. Well, I guess technically limeade, but well, it's lemon lime, so yeah. I also got whiskey. I just, like I said, felt like drinking something different.
Come on. We're live, boys. That's what I like to see. Thank
All
you for
right.
joining to the Out of the Draft podcast, episode 1 or 1.5, whatever you want to call it. We're finally live for the second time, third, fourth, whatever you want to call it. But welcome. This is Nick. Myself is Dylan, and this is Mitchell as well. We just want to say welcome, and let's just start right into it, right?
All right. Let's try to catch up to what we were talking about last week. Unfortunately, we had audio difficulties, and we apologize about that. Just went through the basic runners of how the races went. Clash, I think they need to go back to just the regular. Go back to the oval, make it a 30-lap shootout. Fuels out of the window, tires out of the window. Get yourself in position. Just try to win that race.
Agreed.
Perfect. I just didn't know if it was hearing. You said Rubble or whatever Clash, right?
Go back to the oval.
Yes, please. That was boring.
It was good. It was boring up until the last 2.5, 3 laps.
It just didn't feel like Speed Weeks, Like it didn't feel.
No.
It didn't feel like we were at Daytona. It felt like we were just starting off the season day one. That's why when they were talking about moving Daytona to the second race of the season, I was like, please don't.
Mind blowing. That's mind blowing.
It is.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, you go ahead, sir.
Honestly, it wouldn't even feel like NASCAR's back with week one. Like, we would give another race some type of hype, and it wouldn't be as hyped. And then, honestly, I think the viewers of the Daytona 500 would lower because of that.
Yep, no doubt.
I think because of where the Daytona 500 is and what it represents, like the first race of the season, first everything, it literally gives off this vibe, and that's why we get the most views of any race of the year.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I mean, as they say, it's the Super Bowl of racing. So
we start off with our
changing it. It's Super Bowl's always been the last game of the season for football. Daytona's always been the first race of the season. So
yeah. The last 3 laps were great. I won't take that away from it, but I feel that going back to the oval, shorten the race up, make it a dash for cash, essentially.
I agree. I like the facility. It's a great track, and I do think it holds great potential for racing. But I think going back to the same thing with what the Daytona 500 represents, I feel like the Clash almost represents a certain amount of prestige like that. You expect wild, crazy fireworks going into the season. You expect that. And then what we got wasn't quite that. So
yeah, this is what you're going to see in the Daytona 500. Stay tuned or come back.
Right. Stay tuned. Come back next week. Right.
After that, Daytona 500, really good race. Awesome to see Michael McDowell win. First race after 300 plus starts, I believe it was.
At least. Yeah.
At least. Awesome. Bad block by Joey Logano, blocking his teammate. I get it. You're going for the Daytona 500. You either throw the block and wreck, or you throw the block and you may win. They just went south on him.
Yeah, that's the racing we live in now. Sorry to interrupt you, Dylan.
No, I was the one.
Going with the block situation, it goes back to what Eric Estep said on some NASCAR show. I don't know which one, but I know he said it. But he said, the bad blocks aren't going to end until something bad happens. God forbid. Don't want any driver to get hurt or anything. But
yeah,
he's not wrong. They're going to continue to throw these late blocks because there's no consequences. But
exactly.
I agree because, we haven't seen a death in over 20 years. Well, literally 20 years to this year.
Thankfully. Yeah.
And it's just, our cars are so improved with safety, the tracks, everything is just so where it should be. The drivers don't care. I mean,
Right.
the only person that's raced against Dale Earnhardt in the field was Kurt Busch, and he did 10 races. I mean, so just
All right, all right. I
so
didn't
just, so
realize
just
that.
think of that. Like,
Yeah.
no one even remembers, or only remembers it didn't live. You know what I'm saying? So like they didn't live in the situation, they didn't live in that era, which is fine. I mean that's where we are. That we grow from everything, but that's why, this next gen car that we'll talk about later, is perfect for what we're about to have. I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I agree.
and then we just suck on Joey Logano because but we have a few drivers that we hate. Just FYI. Um, that's all we want to talk about Daytona. Besides, congratulations to Michael.
We'll try to keep it short and sweet. We got a long season to catch up on. We're we're going into the 7th race of the season, not including the Clash. Oh, 8th. So yeah, we're going into the 8th race of the season, not including the Clash. We got a lot to catch up on. After Daytona was obviously back to the Roval again. Great racing. I loved it. It was actually a road course, a little bit of flares, although NASCAR stepping in with that caution for rain. Didn't like that at all. They basically went against their own word, saying, if rain is in the area, we will throw a competition caution in the first 20 laps or so, whenever it was. After that, it's on the teams to whether they want to put, dries or wets on. We had sprinkles throughout the day, and drivers decided to stay on dries because it wasn't wet enough. So that was a big no on NASCAR's, in my opinion.
I agree.
Do you have anything to add besides I agree?
I mean, like Nick said, the racing was good. I did enjoy the race a lot. Obviously, it did come down to that caution due to rain, which threw a good amount of strategy into it. I think ultimately it ended Elliott's obviously chance of winning. I don't think he did anything wrong because he made the same call that Blaney did, I'm sorry, not Blaney, but Bell, which was take tires. And, so I mean, it was the right call. It was just wrong place, wrong time where he restarted and so on. And ended up getting caught up in a couple messes.
Yep.
So that was a shame. But, I think overall it was a good race. Congrats to Christopher Bell for his first win there. That was cool.
That was cool to see him win. Happy to see him basically strong out of the gate. You take away the Daytona results, Toyota didn't really have a big factor except for Denny Hamlin at Daytona 500. So right there, it was good to see somebody in his sophomore year just step up. And he's got that win. He's locked in the playoffs now. How many other drivers at Joe Gibbs could say that at that point in the season? None. Until we learn later.
Right.
I think the race was great. Personally, I did have, I was really upset with NASCAR with that call. Not because I'm biased, but because I just think that they made that call just for something to happen. They didn't want Elliott to dominate. And that's the problem with NASCAR today is they don't want to see drivers succeed in the way they should. They want to
entertainment.
See drama. They want to see entertainment. I understand that we're a sport. Don't manufacture entertainment. It's going to come when it wants to. If you manufacture it, what's the point of even having it?
Yep. Right. I agree. But after that, we went straight to Homestead, correct? We stayed in Florida. We canceled the... This is all Mitch. You were there.
My first time going down there. It was really enjoyable. I liked it a lot. Obviously, as we know, it's an abrasive surface that wears tires. So it's a lot like Atlanta. It was cool. I enjoyed it a lot. It was some good racing. It was a little bit of a tamed race. Not too much action. A lot of good battles and stuff, but I think we would have been a lot better off if we had the other package there. I think it would have been more enjoyable race, I will say.
There wasn't a lot of guys on the wall from what I could see.
Which was a little surprising. But
yeah, normally that high line is what rips, and that's the Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick. I don't think really either of them ran the wall that well. I mean,
No, I
Reddick tried
saw-
to get up there early, but he got
Yeah.
into some trouble. After
Right.
that, nobody got up close, really.
Yeah, not really. I remember Reddick still rode it a good bit, but really didn't do nothing until the last 15 laps of the
Yeah.
race. That
Yeah.
was it.
15
But
laps,
and that's-
he was 3 seconds
but-
faster than the field.
Right. If it would have been another 30 laps, I think Reddick would have won that race, no doubt.
Yeah.
He was cruising, man. He was cruising. But Byron, though, he was obviously really strong as well. He obviously won that stage 2 with Hamlin shoving his teammate out the way and letting Byron ride on by. But I mean, Byron was quick. I mean, once he took the lead there, he pretty much took off and ran away with it. So that was cool to see that. I wasn't very happy for biased reasons of Hendrick winning. I'd rather see Stuart Haas, but Stuart Haas has been not on the game this year, so it
Yeah.
is what it is.
We'll bring that
It
up a
was a
little
good
bit
race.
later.
Yeah,
We'll get
it
into
was
that
a good
later.
race. I did enjoy it. I'll definitely go back. That's for sure.
That's good.
There you go.
I wanna go to Homestead. I think it was on a TV perspective. You know it's gonna be a good race when you're.
It reminds me of old Atlanta.
Yeah.
That racing on the edge, tires tearing up, just go.
Yeah.
And we went to Las Vegas, right? Yeah, because
We started the West Coast Swing. Yep. Minus Auto Club, which is being rebuilt. I'm looking forward to that.
Hey,
Yeah. Who
Yeah,
knows what
they're
that's
saying-
going to be like?
They're from word of mouth. It's going to be Martinsville Straits with Bristol
Bristol Bank.
banking.
Basically,
that's
a
awesome.
tiny Dover.
I do think the brakes are going to matter more.
Oh, I think they're going to be hard as hell on them. They're
Hmm
going to be glowing.
well, with the new car, I don't think it actually will affect it as much because of like
Yeah,
how big
true.
the wheel is. I mean, it's gonna be
True.
easier to turn. Well, actually, no, never mind. It's not gonna be easier to turn. It's gonna be easier to make the car rotate instead of you forcing the Gen 6 to rotate. So hopefully,
Yeah.
from what I've heard from when we talk about the next gen, we get to talk about what the car actually does, and it'll be great, better racing and things like that. So,
But good race. Who won? I forget.
Larson dominated.
Larson.
That's right. Larson dominated the
Dominated.
race.
He was quick, man. He was quick there.
Race
Yeah.
4 in a Chevy car, or not a Chevy, Hendrick Chevy, and already winning races. So we already knew that he was going to go off the bat strong. I didn't think he was going to win until Dirt Bristol, which we'll get into that one. But I didn't think he was actually going to win until then, or if not any races this year. But to legit be the fastest car week in and week out, I think personally from what I've seen, that's surprising to me.
Yeah,
I
the
agree.
only downside he has right now is he's rolling off 19th at Martinsville.
And that's not his best track.
Oh yeah,
No, it's not.
Track.
That could make or break the season in a way.
Oh, well, we saw what happened to Harvick last season. So, I mean, it absolutely could because
Hmm
he clearly hasn't performed there as well as Harvick. I honestly don't pay attention to Larson too much. I mean, I do, but I don't at the same time. But I don't know what his stats are in Martinsville. I know they're not good.
I don't even think he's finishing in the top 10. I'm gonna be honest
Yeah,
with you.
so I know they're not
And
good.
if he has, it's been the one-off. It's not a
Yeah.
A consistent thing like a Truex or Logano or something. But yeah, I agree. Martinsville could have. Well, I mean, not even necessarily Larson, but it can make or break anyone's season, as we saw.
Yeah.
Like I said last year, I mean, Harvick blew him out the water, dominated this season essentially,
Mhm.
and threw it away in 2 races. So that was a bummer. But
Which was really odd
Yeah.
because his crew chief told the spotter, "Don't tell Harvick the point situation."
right,
If
I
they
think he
would-
should have.
If they would have told him with 10 to go, Harvick is a closer. He does not choke.
Right.
I'm sorry. I don't know why they didn't.
I agree.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different season. But personally, I think
Right. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, we've seen him step up to the plate over and over and over and over. You know, backs against the wall. Kevin's going to go get the job done. I think they absolutely should have told him with 10, even 50 to go. They should have told him. You know, I mean, obviously it could fluctuate a lot in between that time period, but I think they absolutely should have told him, and it could have been a different story. I still don't think he would have won a championship because he didn't. He had trash that Phoenix.
Yep.
But he at least could have made it, you know, and it would have at least made the season more notable, I guess. But
he would have finished on a higher note than his season. With the season he had, he would have finished on a higher note. But we're getting off track, unfortunately. After Vegas, we went to Phoenix. Blistering, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we did. I was like, it's part of the West Coast swing over there.
I was trying to think. Yeah, Phoenix.
I know.
It was kind of a boring race. The Hinder cars went to the back, to the front, to the back,
to the front,
to the middle.
And then somehow Chase got fifth, and then Larson.
Yeah, I don't know how he pulled that off because I was watching him all day. He was top 15 car, not and barely top 10.
Yeah.
What you were watching him all day, but you got that whole background.
Well, I was watching. Oh yeah. You know, when I'm not working, I'm watching the race.
Oh, okay.
Then Truex pretty much dominated stage 3. Like stage 1, stage 2 was weird. I forgot how that worked out. Something was like really funny about those two. Like it was really good racing. All in all, it was a great race. It was just a forgettable race. Like you're not gonna.
Yeah.
You're not gonna remember 10 years.
Honestly, I don't even remember the race. I don't know if I actually saw it or not. Put it that way.
Like you will
I don't remember it at all.
Not you will remember last season's race because it was Chase's first championship. You'll remember that aspect of it, but the rest of the race, like that race, you just remember him coming from the back.
Yeah.
This race right here, there wasn't really anything memorable.
I knew Truex hit the wall in stage 1, which I thought
early
killed him.
Yeah.
I thought that.
Well, it did for a little bit, apparently. Well, so they said anyway. But
and then
he couldn't rotate the middle.
All of a sudden, he just flew through the field and dominated the stage 3.
Well, they worked on it all day.
And I mean, I'm not surprised though, because Truex, I mean, all season has had a great long run car, no matter where we've gone so far. He's been super quick on the long run. So I think if NASCAR doesn't throw some random rain caution, I think we're going to see Truex win a lot this season. Honestly, I think he's going to be up front at the end when it matters.
It's very possible. Redemption after last season, 1 win.
Yeah.
But
that was a surprise.
Yep. So Truex dominated. After Phoenix, we went to Atlanta. Larson dominated until late.
Yeah.
You can't blame Joey Logano for the whole situation with racing to stay on the lead lap. It was within 15, 20 to go. Caution comes out. He may gain 3 or 4 more spots on a restart. He's fighting. And you also look back at what Larson did for Chase Elliott towards the end of stage 2, I believe. And unfortunately, Elliott's day ended in smoke. But Larson clearly could have lapped him, stayed behind him for 5 to 10 laps, didn't lap him. Had a comfortable, 8-second lead?
Yeah. And then he just, backed off. He just let even more cars go by, I think.
Yeah. Which we've
seen in the past, but...
One thing I want to say, I don't want to cut us off, but welcome, Hell State, for our first comment. What's up, man? Anyways, go back to...
What was the comment?
Oh, he just said...
Yeah,
hey, what's up,
right up.
He just said,
hey, what's up, Dylan?
That's all he said.
Oh, not us.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to be like... I didn't want to be gay.
They're watching the podcast. They got to learn somehow. But yeah, after that, we went to where did we go?
Well, okay.
After Atlanta?
Yeah, well, we did finish Atlanta.
We didn't. You're correct. I apologize.
Larson pretty much dominated, of course, but going to the end of Logano, Blaney, and Larson. So we have a problem that drivers need to understand. You know what that person's going to do. I mean, Larson should have went to the high side 30 laps before that. Even seeing that 22 in the front of his car, he should have went to the high side.
That's just as bad as seeing Newman in front of you.
Yeah.
You know it. Yeah, you know he's going to race you hard. And I know they're comparing Logano's racing style to Earnhardt. They're not the same. Completely different aero packages and everything. Logano just races similar
He's
to
good
how.
at blocking dirty air. He's good at creating it.
Yes, he's good
That's
at
what he's
creating
good
it.
at.
He's good at creating that wall behind him without actually having to get near you.
Right.
And that's what make that it works for him.
Yeah,
This is
absolutely.
racing. He's trying to stay on the lead lap. Totally get it. Now, as soon as the leader goes by, he just lets second. Well, Blaney caught Larson and then passed him. Blaney had to work for it too. It wasn't like he just blew by them both in one turn. It took, a few laps. But once he got by him, Logano's a lap down. There's no point of him holding up second place anymore.
Right.
You let him go. So that's, racing.
I see. I completely understand the point in holding up the leader. I mean, we've seen 100 times where someone will hold up the leader and a caution will come out and they finish it and then end up marching back to top 10 or something crazy, and then have a great day. Great comeback. I understand it, but I just have such an issue with when it's so late in the race and they're racing super hard. Like I said, I get it. I understand what the objective is, but at the same time, we've seen it endless time over time where it'll change the outcome of the race. And that's okay too. I mean, they're lap cars. We've seen lap cars just in general change the outcome of the race.
Mm-hmm.
But 90% of them don't fight the leader crazy hard like they're also racing for the win as well,
Yeah, the one race comes to mind was Dover 2017 in the fall race where Chase, he had a gap on Kyle Busch. And then 10 laps to go, he got right behind Newman. Newman didn't budge.
Exactly.
He was already a lap down. So this is the problem.
Right. And that's even more of a reason.
But at the same time, it goes back to what you said earlier, Dylan.
Chase
he should have known with who's coming in, who he's about to come up on, how they're going to drive. Newman doesn't move over for anybody. He doesn't move over for teammates. It could be Richard Petty the King behind him. He ain't moving over. He's going to race him as hard as if he's
right. And he has every right
for the win.
He does.
Exactly.
But I just whenever I see situations like that, where someone holds up someone and it costs them a win or whatever, I hope one day it comes back around, just because I would like to see that. You know what I mean? Like where the rules are reversed and, Newman's going for a win and Chase Elliott decides to hold up Newman,
and it will come back around. It will.
Right. And I think they almost deserve it to come back.
By them racing that way, they are accepting that future consequence. That's how it is.
I mean, get raced how you race, right?
Exactly.
Well, GG's to Blaney because that was his first oval win besides the restrictor plate. So that was awesome.
Was it really?
Yeah. He's only
Pocono, Roval, and then Degas. So yeah.
Hell State gave us a question. Something I've noted that Chase has been the worst hitter car. Byron has won. Bowman has been fast. Larson has won a race and dominated two. Should Chase be concerned? I know it's early, but the 9 so far has not been at par to his championship car that he had last season. Personally, this is my advice on this. Alan, I can never say his last name.
Gustafson.
Yeah, so his crew chief is big on making sure that they try different things on like the first 9 races. After Talladega, that's when they start to focus on the right car.
Get back to the normal.
Go ahead.
I'd also say that Chase Elliott, I wouldn't say he's been the worst. Honestly, I look at Bowman, where he's at in point standings. He has good speed. He doesn't have the consistency long run where Chase is still able to take that 15th place car and finish in the top 10. He's able to drive his way into it. He doesn't have the speed right now, but it goes back to what you're saying as well. They're trying things out for what comes around in the second half of the season.
Right. Like he also asked is, should he be worried? No, I don't think he should be worried. Like you said, Alan likes to try a lot of new things, especially early in the season. I feel like that's probably the best time to do it.
Yeah. Most of his wins always came in the second half.
Right. I mean, that's just kind of
every time that he's won, it's been in the second half of the season. Besides the
Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon, second race of the season, 2011.
Yeah, something like that.
Kyle Busch,
Gordon didn't win the 500.
And 20.
not since
Not
2001.
Yeah, no.
No, 2005.
What?
2005. That's when he last won it.
Okay.
But Allen wasn't until
It was
Allen
at Phoenix.
Right.
his crew chief,
That's
so-
different situation. But
Um,
yeah, no, I don't think you should be worried though. I think they're doing good. They're, like you said, Nick, they're making good speed. They've just had some mishaps with, going back to the Roval or whatnot. I mean, obviously they were by far the car to beat.
Yeah.
And then I mean they've constantly been top 10, top 5, leading laps here and there as well. But
when
Yeah,
we
they
get
wouldn't be worried.
The stretch of those road courses and short tracks. I mean, I think
he's gonna tear them up.
I think the 9 car is actually going to dominate that part of the season, and then it's just slack off again right before the playoffs, and then playoffs hit, and then the 9 car is going back to where it should be. So it's just like the Jimmy Johnson era when he was doing the chase. I mean, Chad did a lot of different things in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
But Chad wanted to make sure he got a win first before he started doing stuff, and then he started doing stuff. That's why the summer months he struggled. So it just depends on the crew chief and SHR. I mean, they could be struggling. They could be doing stuff too. But how bad they're struggling, I don't think so. I
agree. I think. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. You good?
I think SHR is clearly struggling, no doubt. I think the rest of them, though, the 10, the 14, and the 41, I think they should be worried. I don't think the 4 should be worried. I think he will win. And they're just going to have to find the right time, the right place. At worst case scenario, I mean, I think if he doesn't win before Michigan, he's going to win at Michigan. Just from how he has been in the past few years there. But the rest of SHR, though, they should be hitting the panic button. I think they need to figure out something quick.
I don't think I would be worried about if I was in the 41 or the 14, just because look at Chase Briscoe. He's a rookie. It's his first season. There's no practice.
Well, I mean, you're right. I didn't think about the fact of being a rookie.
Cole Custer, second year. He only got we only went 4 or 5 races before COVID hit, and it was all no practice anymore. Those two I wouldn't be worried about. Eric Almirola in the 10 car. Smithfield dropped their sponsor a little bit. They're only now doing 28 of 36 race scheduled. They are rolling back sponsor. That there puts, in my eyes, they're not as confident in him anymore. They used to sponsor him all 36 races, including the All-Star and the Chase. They're not doing that anymore. He's got to go out and find other sponsors. He's also the lowest in the points at Stewart Haas.
I saw that the other day. I was looking at the points. He
He's
needs to panic, no doubt.
He is closer to Quinn Houff than his teammates.
Yes. You look at the rookies, they're doing good. I think the next car is even going to play better into the fact of Chase Briscoe and Cole Custer. I think the next car is going to play into their hands.
Yeah, no doubt.
Those two are the future of Stewart Haas. Harvick is Harvick.
Yes.
He'll figure it out.
So,
Eric Almirola hasn't proved himself except for at Talladega. And the rain shortened Pocono.
We'll get
Sorry.
to that question in a second. Let's finish these the rest of the season.
He didn't win at
We still got
Pocono.
one more race to talk about, and then we can, before we change the subject, I'll answer that question for you, okay? And then, of course, Dirt Bristol, right? We got that. That was exciting. It was really weird to see. It was really cool to see, actually, that we got the old Bristol. All you had to do is put dirt on it instead of grinding the top.
Who knew? Who knew?
Just put some dirt on it, and it'll be fine. I thought it was a great race. Great racing all around.
It did have that old Bristol feel to it. And then people were asking, where's the dirt guys? Larson and Bell, they both out, stage 2?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when Bell wrecked, spun out.
Bell made a big mistake. He went too wide and then just crashed into Larson. And, of course, Larson had some harsh words to say to him, too.
And I think that's just because I think Larson holds him to a higher standard, especially on dirt. That's I don't think he's not mad at Bell. Like you ruined my day, which he probably has a little. I mean, he probably has a little bit, but like he knows what Bell's background is. He shouldn't have done that.
Right.
That's what it was. But Larson still he was able to continue throughout the day. Didn't get any better though, unfortunately.
Yeah. Suarez, man. So Suarez is by far the surprise of the day. He's quick.
No dirt
quick,
racing
man.
experience.
Zero.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I
As-
mean,
yeah,
Mexico, he raced on sand. What y'all mean? I'm joking. But
Wow.
no,
Careful.
no, he
Oh,
no, but we said this, well, the first episode, quote unquote, that all the in Mexico, all the racetracks are really sandy and really dirty. So it probably gives off that vibe where you used to be. And so that's just my opinion why he did so well. And I think Trackhouse is on another level. I mean, they're having RCR equipment. Just think
RCR engines, yeah.
RCR
They're a third
equipment
RCR.
and running so much better than all of them every week. I mean, he was the third best car at Atlanta. We didn't even talk about that. Because he got
they didn't. Yeah.
because we got a speeding penalty, he finished 19th. But he was
true.
third. I mean,
Yeah, that Trackhouse team they got funding, they got sponsors, they got the equipment coming from RCR, of course, which is also with the Hendrick engines or whatever it is. So I mean,
ECR.
they got it all figured out right now.
well, now it's Hendrick ECR engine.
the Hendrick ECR. Yeah. But I mean, they're going to be a force to reckon with. He might not win this season. I don't really expect them to either.
I could see if
who
we
knows,
don't.
he could surprise, but I think next season though, I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. As crazy as that is.
I mean, remember him at Pocono one year? He finished second in a Joe Gibbs equipment. I mean, if they have that was a weird sound. If they have my ADD was kicking in because I heard it. I was like, oh, no, but yeah, I think
it's essentially an ECR car. It's essentially an ECR. It's essentially a RCR car. It's out of the same shop. It's everything through them. It's that Mr. Worldwide money though.
Yeah.
And then
and somehow they found a bunch of sponsors.
Yeah,
that's great for them too.
And then we had the off week.
Well, we didn't talk about the finish.
I didn't.
I don't know what that.
Oh yeah. I'm jumping.
Joey Logano here.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about him anymore.
So I want to talk about Hamlin. I want to tell him how big of a chump this man is. He should have sent him in turn one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why did he go to the high side? Like, okay,
it doesn't make any sense.
Said it best. We wonder why Hamlin does not perform at the big stages. Why he hasn't won a championship? Why hasn't done this? Is because of this. He chokes everything. Like if it's not a Daytona 500, he doesn't win. I mean, simple as that. I'm sorry. I don't know how he has almost 50 wins. I don't understand. I don't get it.
I think if you look at most of his wins, most of them I do believe come from short tracks actually, which that is his background.
Yeah.
He is a short track racer.
He came from modifieds, right? Or something along the lines of that?
Well, yeah.
He came Martinsville area. So either modifieds or late model, I believe.
I think it was late model short tracks. He moved to modified for about a half a season, and he went straight to Xfinity after that.
Yeah.
Or Busch at that time.
Right.
So he has another question. Since we're done with that, by the way, GG's Logano, because that was really cool.
It was cool to see him win.
Yeah, it was. And then 7 different winners in 7 different races. Can we make it more? Can we beat the record of 2014 and 10 in a row? I think we can. I think we're actually going to... I think that we will not
We're going into 8, right?
Yeah, we're going into 8.
Yeah, we're going to week 8.
We can see it. I think it's possible.
I don't think that we're going to see a double winner until Dega. And we can talk about that later. But
it'll be Michael
3-4 weeks away.
Beat Michael
McDowell. Could you imagine, bro?
Oh my god.
That'd be great, though. That'd be great.
As a Kyle Busch fan, does Kyle ever get back to his championship level? He's had some speed so far, but hasn't been in the same way since he was in the 2019 championship season. Personally, Kyle Busch, you can't count him out anywhere. I'm sorry.
You can't count him out, but I don't think he's going to return back to that dominance. I think he'll be a threat every week, but he's not going to be the, before you even go into the race, Kyle Busch is winning this race.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be
they're going to have to work for it.
Yeah.
It's not going to come as easy, especially going into the new car next year. I think, like you said, I think he's going to be quick. You can't count him out anywhere. But I don't think we're going to see like another, big three type season out of Kyle Busch.
No,
I think the most he wins a season is 3-4 races.
Honestly,
I do think it'll be on a consistent basis, though.
Honestly, that big three in 2018, the only person that I can actually see even perform that way right now is Truex, and I don't even think he's there either.
No, I agree.
I think that whole big three is where they're going to be for the rest of their career.
I could see Denny Hamlin being a part of that big three. He was part of that then too as well. You look at him throughout the season; he's leading the points, but he is finished in top 10 every week.
Top 5.
Yeah.
Well, he's finished top 5 every race, but
Daytona.
Yeah, Daytona. Yeah, you're right.
But I think he still got away with a top 10 finish, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daytona, like the Roval Daytona?
No,
like
the Daytona.
No, he finished like 5th, right? Because he was behind Dylan. He was going to be pushing Dylan. Yeah. He finished like 4th or 5th.
Either okay, so yeah, but I'm
Maybe
saying
the Roval. I don't know.
I see him, and this might be what Denny Hamlin needs to do. Don't focus on those wins so much. Focus on the finish.
Right.
And that may be what gets him that first championship.
Maybe.
I don't think he's going to get a championship, though, to be honest. Obviously he chokes, as we saw, last week at Bristol 2 weeks ago. But
yeah,
I just don't think he's capable. I think he can't handle the pressure of it, honestly.
Yeah.
And Kyle Busch, I could see Kyle Busch still getting a 3rd championship, but I don't see him in NASCAR many more because he's gonna want to go back to the trucks while he's still competitive. He wants to get those 3 titles.
Well, I think he's always going to be competitive.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to be a Cup probably about 8 more years and then finish it out with 1-year trucks. And if he wins it, cool. If not, I think he's going to be done.
My biggest concern for Truex and Denny, if Kyle stays that long, one of them is getting booted for Ty Gibbs because Ty Gibbs, he should not go to trucks. I'm sorry, he should stay in trucks because
he should.
He's going to ruin his talent, in my opinion, and go straight to Xfinity. By the way, he'll
turn into another
this weekend at Martinsville. Ty Gibbs is.
He in Xfinity this week?
Yeah, 54 car. I mean, he has a 1.5 finish in Xfinity. I think we're doing good. No,
I see him replacing Truex. I don't even think it's so much that one of them gets kicked. I think it's either Truex, Hamlin, retire, spots open, he's going to fill it. But he's got to bring in some sponsor too.
Well, even if he doesn't, though, Gibbs is going to fund it.
It may be a lot of self-sponsored.
I think he's going to find sponsors.
He's had a lot of backing with Monster. I mean, and Kurt Busch is on that 1 to 2 years left. I mean, I'm sorry, but
that's true.
I don't see him, And then
what happens if Deegan brings Monster in?
I don't think Monster would be afraid to sponsor 2 cars. I mean, they already they sponsor 4. Just think about it.
When you think about it, they sponsor a car in each manufacturer.
Yeah. I don't think they're afraid.
Yeah, you're right, Toyota. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But I think Ty Gibbs will be able to get other sponsors too because.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't think he's not going to get like Bass Pro though. I think when Truex hangs up the helmet,
it's going to go right to Dillon.
It's going to go right to Austin Dillon. And honestly, I don't think anybody else is going to pick it up after he leaves either.
Actually, I think Gregson will have funding by the
Gregson.
Man, you keep making me forget about these guys.
So I have a weird feeling that Gregson's going to go back to Toyota and race for 2311. Okay, I have this weird feeling that this is going to happen. Okay?
I don't think so.
I think 2311 picks up Ty Dillon.
You really?
Yeah, I really do. I think, especially with the fact that he's doing a lot of Gibbs stuff right now. I feel like they're kind of tying these loose ends together. Obviously, there's time.
Trying to keep his seat time in with a good equipment and go from there.
Right. Obviously, he's building the relationship with Joe Gibbs at the moment, which will obviously help the tide or the 2311 side of it. And
That'd be kind of weird in a way because you got to think about it. Denny Hamlin basically bought his own old team.
Oh yeah, he did. He literally bought his charter.
Yeah. I think Ty Dillon goes to 2311, and I think he blows Bubba out the water.
Yeah, I don't think Bubba's going to perform. I think if Bubba performs, it's going to be short tracks only and play tracks. Intermediates, road courses, he's not going to be very well at. Go ahead. No,
you're going to see where that team is this weekend, like for sure.
Yeah.
This is statistically.
Yeah, that's a good track for Bubba.
Best racetrack. Okay.
Not to mention, this is where the underfunded teams do shine is at these short tracks. You look at back last year, you see cars in the top 10 that are, you're looking at Jermaine Racing from last year. They're a top 10 quality team at short tracks.
What's up, Percy? We're talking about NASCAR. What's up, man? Yeah, I mean, if Bubba doesn't get a top 5, I think it's a bust this week. If he, okay,
I agree.
If he gets involved in a wreck, that's different. But but if he just straight up just goes for it, I think top 5 that's what he's gonna hit. I'm sorry.
I think he performed for about 3/4 of the race, but I feel like he's gonna have too much pressure on him as of Michael Jordan telling him, we don't sign checks to losers.
Yeah, you're signing that check.
Right. I think he knows going in that this is his best track. He obviously has at least one win here with the trucks.
So here's the thing though with Bubba Wallace. He could do terrible this season. They will still keep him even after.
Right. I mean, we all
because he is bringing. Well, it's not even because of ethnicity or anything like that. It's because he is bringing in sponsorship dollars.
Right.
They don't have enough races to put all the sponsors on the car.
And Bubba's so marketable. I mean, just think about this. Like the guy who makes NASCAR go into a transition to be more welcoming to everyone. Okay, just think about this. Okay, if he performs like he should, this sport could grow huge.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah,
definitely,
absolutely. So he could easily take over the most popular driver award. I could absolutely see that.
I could see him as a close second. I don't see him taking it over it just because you have so many. So Jeff Gordon retired. Chase Elliott took all of his Jeff Gordon's fans. Dale Jr. retired. Chase Elliott took all of his fans. Jimmy Johnson retired now. All of his fans are pretty much going to Chase Elliott. He is getting pretty much as drivers retire. I feel like they're gonna gravitate towards Chase Elliott as he gets off on the back.
You're not wrong, but I mean, if we're gonna talk like this, oh my gosh, no. If we're gonna talk about like this,
technical difficulties on camera 3.
Bubba, I mean, if we're going to really talk fans, Bubba's most likely got all of Gibbs fans. And then on top of that, with the whole, he's bringing a lot of sponsorship. Like you said, if he does start to actually perform and do very well, he's going to build and bring a lot of new fans in. Like, to overwhelming numbers, I think. It could really be a game changer for him and also NASCAR.
It very well could be. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he brings in fans. I want him to succeed because that's how the sport is going to grow. Granted, these new young drivers, they kind of just remind me of the old timers just growing back up again.
I mean, okay, as a Chase Elliott fan, he has the biggest dry sense of humor, okay? So if you listen to him on the radio, he's super funny. On Twitter, if you watch him on Twitch, he's super funny. But when it comes to interviews, dude's dry. Like,
car ran good.
Show some personality, man. Like
he's super professional.
Yes.
It reminds me of Ricky Bobby at Talladega Nights. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Well, that's not very professional.
Hey,
it's not.
He's like, if you like, it's like Big Red gum.
That was more of a marketing thing. I'm just talking about like the first interview that he had in that. But anyways,
can you imagine him saying that? Like with that new energy drink he has sponsoring him. What is it, Aftershock or A-Shock? Yeah.
If you don't like,
I haven't had.
They go, you okay?
What else? Oh, so this week we had tire testing at Martinsville.
Yeah.
Closed circuit, next gen car. The 3 manufacturers were there. Correct?
Correct.
I believe.
Yes, all 3.
So I think that NASCAR was talking about they could do up to a mile for length. I think they could stretch that up to 1.5 miles. You look at the Charlotte Roval, the Daytona Roval now. Rain tires out on both of those. Granted, you're not carrying as much speed at those going into those turns as you would at just a regular oval. But drivers would compensate for that. They would slow down just like they would do on a road course. I feel that we could expand it at least to the 1.5 miles. I don't think it would be a good idea, though, at Daytona, because at that point, it's just going to be a single file and drive.
I completely disagree with this. And here's why. And here's why. Not because I love the fact that NASCAR is going to try to make sure that we get races in. I love that. Mm-hmm. I'm so down for that. But see that, the whole manufacturing a race to make it happen? That's what that is. I think we need to talk more to, SMI, all these track owners to say, hey, what's the best weather? Obviously, there's going to be some rainouts. We can't control that. But,
yeah.
But, like, for instance, we do Sonoma and Bristol. If we just flip that, let's say we did that. We flip both. We put Bristol, like, midsummer type, and we put
early summer.
Yeah, early summer. And then we put Sonoma where Bristol is. You still got the green grass, the beautiful green grass, okay?
Oh, yeah.
You're still on the West Coast. It's not like you're moving from
true.
Las Vegas and Phoenix and all that. It'd be perfect.
Honestly, they wouldn't even have to switch Bristol. They could honestly just switch the Roval, the Daytona Roval, with Infineon.
So we always have a problem with the Southeast, okay? That's the one we usually have the problem with. Daytona, Homestead, Bristol, Atlanta, every
Darlington.
one of those I feel like gets rained out. I don't know why. Just every year there's some rain. Well, obviously Florida.
Texas came in last year and said, "Hold my beer."
Oh yeah, Texas is like everything's bigger here. Okay, they meant it. No, but I get Florida. There's always going to be rain.
And Florida. You can't control that, Florida.
so everyone's like noon starts. Why? Noon? You're just going to cut it halfway and just be like, oh well, we're going to finish here at halfway. Congratulations to. Hold on.
Justin Haley.
No, I'm trying to think of a worse driver. Hold on.
Quinn Hall.
I mean, that was Eric Almirola's first win. Was
Cody
a race.
Ware wins the Daytona 500.
Listen, if that boy wins the Daytona 500, it is going to be the biggest party ever, and I'm going to try to find a way to get there.
Yeah, and he'll probably get drug tested like Spencer Gallagher after he won, and then fail.
I feel like LaJoy's dad would beat the shit out of him if he tried that. But anyways, yeah,
but
I do get what you're saying. Switch them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need to focus on rain tires. I'm sorry, but like road courses in the rain tires, I feel like already suck. I don't even want to watch it personally.
God, I think it depends on the track. Last year in Xfinity, man.
That was actually I actually enjoyed that
just because it was exciting. It was exciting as hell.
Wasn't racing at all.
They were wrecking every corner. It was great, but it was the only people that knew what they were doing was AJ Allmendinger.
It was like Monday. It was awful.
Honestly, I feel like so rain races, I feel, are better at designed tracks that are designed to be road courses.
Right.
If you look at Watkins Glen, Infineon, Road America, all those places, they've raced in the rain on all, well, except for Infineon. They've raced in the rain, and they are good races.
Yeah. I do like the idea of testing out rain tires and such. I don't think it should be at a track bigger than 1.25 miles. Personally, I think if they do that and go that route,
or not Kentucky.
It's a mile and a half. Anyway, I think if they do go that route of running rain tires because they want to slip in a race while they can, then cool, whatever. But I think it should only be a short track. Straight up, Martinsville, Richmond, New Hampshire, stuff like that. I don't think they should go like Bristol in the rain. I think is going to be a disaster. I don't see it happening.
I think it'd be more entertaining than the dirt race.
I disagree. I
It'd
think
be drifting, actually. Yeah, that's what you go to. I do not. If Bristol is the bump and run and somebody spun in front of me and watch everybody scatter.
Oh my god.
Much.
All right, so rain tires, they did that. We had a next gen test. Oh my gosh, my baby. It's a year away. Not even. He's here. My baby. All right, anyways, so we're just going to talk about this for a second. Tyler Reddick said a couple things about it that I want to hit some key points. For one, he said that it is harder to drive than the Xfinity and Cup cars today. That, perfect. That's what we want to hear. He said,
harder to drive in what aspect? Sorry,
like always. Like it's harder to drive. You have to put more throttle control into it. It kicks out. It does what you want a race car to do. Okay?
Right.
It slips and slides.
Yeah. So
I feel like these cars. Okay, the current cars could still do that if NASCAR would go everywhere with the big engine, small spoiler.
So the problem with that.
Right.
So we have because of the side force of the car, getting side by side is going to just spin them out with the small blade, and so
right, which we saw a lot in the past, especially the mile and a half, especially at like Kentucky, the ones with the shorter banking as well.
We want to see people race side by side in the corner because
But not wreck.
and not wreck. Like I want them to drive it. Obviously, I don't want them to be full throttle like we have right now. They can race side by side right now with a 550. No big deal.
Yeah, or
Right, 3 or
or
4 wide.
look at last year at Kansas. Joey Logano didn't even have the fastest car, and he still won the race because that dirty air with the way that engine package is and everything like that. I don't like that.
Kevin just won that race, man.
If he would have just won that race.
Yeah, that was his only good race in that round. Right?
And then Texas with their hold my beer shit. Screwed Kevin. I think if Kevin didn't hit the wall, I think Kevin would have went on to win that race. Personally,
Probably.
he's been really good at Texas, especially in the fall past couple of years. I think that was just going to continue the trend. Honestly, if not win, he was going to be quick. He's showing that he was up front, but who knows? Anyway,
and then Tyler Reddick also said like they were trying a lot of different tire combinations.
Did you see the camber?
Yes. So that wasn't the
I did
camber
that.
that was on the during the track. By the way.
Oh,
Okay, so that camber was lifted up to see where it was heated. That was all that was.
okay. Oh, well, the way the video, the photo, it was a photo. Here's the inside of the tire. Here's the outside of the tire, and it is just.
It was all through.
Yeah.
It was.
I was like, if they're doing that, that'd be interesting.
like those lowrider Hondas you see on the streets.
Yeah. Those,
It was.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
But
It makes no sense.
so the tire that they're trying to find is a one to fit the tracks that wear a lot but still keep the grip. So they don't want a hard tire, obviously, because that's what we have now, where there's no fade, there's no like comers and goers through a run, things like that. So
they're going to the soft tire. Obviously.
Yeah, they really want a soft tire for all racetracks that can hold the car, and so you don't have to. So it puts saving your tires back into the driver's hands. So drivers like Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott will improve even more than what they had before, just because that's what they're so used to back in their truck days, their Xfinity days.
You can even say that's how Denny Hamlin is.
Yeah, I mean. I think that's going to ruin kind of Larson's style. He's get it go type of person. But he'll adapt.
That man hangs it out on every turn. He is never given up.
I'm telling you, man, you should have saw how sideways he was in person on Homestead, bro. You thought they were drifting at Bristol.
And what's funny is that's probably it's a little tight on exit for me right now.
It's plowing. I just sounds like Frosty.
So, yeah, they did that tire test.
Nice.
I do like that.
Going back to that for tires.
Yeah, they're gonna have to fit more. Which now with that new lug pattern, do you think we see quicker or slower stops? I think slower.
I think it should be the exact same because
okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think if any faster, maybe a second, maybe. But at the same time, though, even if that is the case, they still have to stay and fuel the car. So
I think the stops may be slower actually. Not by much. It's not going to be a huge slow because it is only one lug, but it is going to be. I think NASCAR is going to get in there. They're going to put this is how much pressure it can have. This is what it's going to be. And I think they're going to slow them down a little bit, especially being that it's one lug. But we're also going to see less loose wheel penalties where crew chiefs are not at the race the following week.
Well, which is great because, one lug, I mean, if you get a loose wheel, that thing's coming off. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Kurt Busch at Homestead.
that thing's gone. It's not even.
I think 2 tire stops though. I think they're going to be insanely quick. I think it is absolutely going to be a game changer with 2 tire stops and just put gas and goes.
We don't see a lot of 2 tire stops anymore.
Yeah,
I know, but just the simple fact of late race strategy, 20 to go or whatever, take 2 tires, 2 rights, take a splash, so on. And then, especially if it's an under caution pit stop, you can gain so much, especially if you do 2 tires and it only takes a second to change it, in and out. I think that can be a game changer.
I can't wait till May 5th when the manufacturer
reveal.
The reveal, I know. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah.
That next day, it's going to be fun. I'm going to Nope. Oh, there you go. I'm going to show each car on the stream, too.
Oh, yeah.
Through my PC, which will be nice. And then...
Yeah, we'll have to be looking at them before the race.
Yeah.
Or before the event. Rumor coming around. Corey LaJoie let it slip a little bit. I don't know if it was on purpose or if it's just word of mouth from him, but Richard Petty Motorsports going Toyota next season, which I do see that happening, especially with Eric Jones' tie to Toyota already. I feel that they kept the Chevy because they knew they're getting a new car. Why pay for a new nose and everything else when new cars coming out? Just run this year.
I agree, and I think that also helped. I think Toyota, as I'm sure it's a hell of a deal to put some more Toyotas on the track, Same with, obviously, the 2311. They needed more Toyotas, especially regarding I hate that. Plate tracks is this type of racing. I hate it, but that's the way it is right now. You want to work through the manufacturer unless it's last lap, basically.
And honestly, I think with this new car, and we don't know, obviously, what the package is going to be or anything like that, but I think it's going to take away that. I
hope it does.
So the only reason why I think the Fords and the Chevys and the Toyotas work together is because the OEMs of each manufacturer literally made it to where their car is easier to push each other on plate tracks. So that's why the Chevys had to fix their nose. That's why the Fords went a flat nose, so it's easier to push each other. And so I really hope NASCAR is super strict on the OEMs with the way they want to build their car. Saying, hey, oh, well, you have a point. You can't do that. Oh, it's too flat. You need to point it out a little bit more.
But at the same time, I want them to keep I want them to maintain that manufacturer identification.
Absolutely. I like the fact that we are getting a little bit back to the
I look at the nose.
You get the normal look versus back in the COT days. They were freaking boxes. All the manufacturers are boxes. There was
Yeah.
no manufacturers really. It was just a logo on a car.
And that's
That was terrible. But I am glad that they are coming back around to getting the manufacturers. But at the same time, I do understand what you're saying, Dylan, that there should be a little bit of regulations between what they can do.
So they can easily make it look like, okay, so the Gen 4 had the perfect thing. You know,
Yeah.
the Fords look different, but it still had the same nose as the Chevys.
Right.
Like
It was decals.
Yeah, all the decals are perfect. Now the Gen 6 made it to where they wanted to show each manufacturer. So that's the only reason why the Gen 6 was even a thing. It was because the COT was like, oh, well, you're not even promoting my brand, it's just a sticker. Well, yes, but it also provided really great racing, as we saw, because like there was no side force, there was no issue.
Tandem drafts.
Yeah, that's
I love that. Personally, really? I mean, I like the pack racing, I really do, but I love the tandem. I really enjoyed that style of racing. I think that was great.
Sorry, my camera keeps sliding down.
Oh, you're okay.
Yeah.
Any other news besides that?
There was something else I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't think it's something else.
If not, we can go straight into our weekend picks and stuff.
All right.
Yeah. How much more time we got?
We just hit our hour mark, so we can do
Okay. So, yeah, we're going to do our picks then. Yeah. You started. Well, we'll let you finish off, Dylan. So, Mitch, if you want to go first.
You can do. Hold on. Are we? Wait.
Oh, actually, no. I do remember something I wanted to bring up.
Go ahead, do that.
So the whole Atlanta situation. It was Atlanta, right? With Noah Gragson and Daniel Hemrick. Noah Gragson has said he was going to reach out to Daniel Hemrick. He understands where their frustration. Apparently, there's no hard feelings coming from Gregson's side. He understands why Hemrick was upset, and I'm guessing those two may actually, cool down. Now we won't have that rivalry in that series.
Yeah, I think. Oh man, I keep yawning. Sorry. Yeah, I heard. I don't know what it was. I saw just a clip of it on Instagram or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Some podcast or radio show. I'm not sure what it was, to be honest. But I heard he was talking about the situation and that he did feel bad, and he said he didn't intentionally mean to run into him. He was, it was bad situationing with the way the three cars were pitted. It caused Gregson to obviously overshoot, had to back up, yada yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
He said. He would have never. He didn't intentionally mean to hit him. He didn't want to put anyone in harm's way like that. That was not his intentions. He was just trying to get in the box.
Well, this is for the after race actions. This is for the after race actions, yeah. Which
yeah.
I totally get where Gragson was coming from. He was upset, rightfully. He didn't know the whole situation. He just saw a guy in his box. He's trying to pit. He's trying to get the best he can.
Trying to get in the pit. It's as simple as that. So I think it was just, how we always say, racing incidents, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. I think that was a pitting incident. I feel like no one was in fault. It was just, that's just the way it happened.
Yep. But going into this weekend's picks, I'm assuming.
So I think we should do who's gonna suck on Xfinity and who's gonna win at Xfinity. And then we should do, because I don't want to do like the NASCAR Weekly podcast. I don't want to copy them. So I think we're gonna have a different pick too. So we're gonna do who's gonna suck in the cup. The second pick is who do you think needs a win at this point for the race? Like who needs to show up?
And who is going to?
Not like an underdog, but like who needs to show up? Okay, that's not good. I don't want to. I don't want to make them like we're copying them. And then our one pick. We go Xfinity. Mitch, you can go ahead.
I don't know. I got to think about it. I haven't really thought about it too much.
Who do you think is going to win the race?
Who I think is going to win? Xfinity. I think Allmendinger is going to show up. I mean, obviously he's got the road course experience. Martinsville's been compared to a road course many times,
Yeah.
especially break zones.
He's always top 5 in the Cup Series.
Right. He was always quick there. I think he's going to show up with that college equipment. I think he's if he doesn't win, I think he's going to be really quick.
Okay. Then Cup.
Cup, I think, who needs to show up is Bubba Wallace, obviously with the equipment that he has and his history at Martinsville. He's great there. He needs to show up. If he doesn't show up, I think it's a huge testament to 2311 that they need some work to be done, whether it's on Bubba Wallace's part or the equipment, either or. But I think they need to show up, no doubt. Sadly, I think SHR is going to continue to suck. This has obviously not been their best track. The only wins they have is Kurt and Boyer, as far as I know. I'm not sure if Newman has a win there.
So does Stewart.
But that's different. But
no, Stewart had it with SHR.
Did he?
Yeah, he won it in the playoffs when he beat Carl Edwards.
You're right.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, so 4 wins there. All right. All right, Stuart Haas. But no, sadly, even though they actually have 4 wins, it's still statistically not their best track at all. They at best top 10 realistically. So I think they're going to continue to suck. I think the week after will be a good time to start turning things around for them.
As far as I go, I think when it comes to Martinsville and the Xfinity Series, I'm going out on a limb here. I do think that Kaulig Racing does not show up, actually. I think that they are going to get in each other's way. You got 3 good drivers, good-ish. You got 2 of the good drivers. Justin Haley is good. He's a little too aggressive most of the time. Allmendinger is a little more strategic. I think that's going to get him into trouble later or early on in the race, and he's just not going to be able to recover. Winning, I believe it's going to come out of the junior motorsports stall. I think it's either going to be Justin Allgaier or Noah Gragson. I think one of those 2 gets it done this weekend. Whether it's a late race caution and they're just happen to be in the right spot, right time. But I do think that junior motorsports gets it done this weekend for Xfinity.
It should be Josh Berry.
It may even be Josh Berry. He's got short track experience, especially with late models.
That's why he's in the sport right now as is, because he won the championship for junior. So
that is true.
I don't know if he's running it. I don't know if y'all know or not. But if he is, honestly, that's a solid pick.
Yep, I believe he is.
He's starting 29.
Yeah.
Solid.
But I believe for Cup, who needs to show up? I think SHR is in trouble. I think Harvick needs to show up. He doesn't need to win, just top 10. Get him in top 10.
I agree that he does need to show up, but I don't think this is the track for it, and I think that they know that.
I think this would be a good track for him to show up, though, because it is the next to last race when it comes to the end of the season.
Right. I mean, I completely agree, but I don't see it happening for Harvick. I think the rest of Stuart Haas needs to. They need to shine, but I don't expect too much out of Harvick from Martinsville. I never have, honestly.
Yeah. I think underdogs. I do think Bubba.
Who's gonna suck? Who's gonna suck? This one.
Oh, who's gonna suck? Tyler Reddick. I think he is gonna struggle. I think between him and Austin Dillon, it's not their greatest tracks. RCR struggles at Martinsville. They haven't shined there in a long time. I think last time that RCR had a win there was Kevin Harvick back when he drove the black Budweiser car. 2011, yes.
The only winner.
Yeah, winner. I actually think Chase Elliott pulls it out. It's either Chase Elliott or Brad Keselowski this week. I think that Chase Elliott's going to go back to the books like they did last year. I think they're going to probably throw some of that stuff into it. If he doesn't win, I think Brad Keselowski gets it done. Both his teammates have.
Yeah. Sorry.
Both his teammates have a win, and he was only signed to a 1-year extension. This is a good track.
Wait, who's only 1-year extension right now?
Brad Keselowski.
Okay. I just missed the beginning part of that. But,
that's all right.
I think. Sorry to interrupt you, real quick, Joe.
You're fine.
I think we're going to see one more. This is going to be the final first-time winner, and also single winner, I guess, before we have a repeat, and it's going to be Daniel Suarez.
For this week?
He's in it. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, he does have momentum.
Ooh, okay. I like that pick. I really do, actually. Who's your second Xfinity? I think Austin Cindric is going to suck. And what I mean by that
I always forget about him.
I hope.
Oh, man. I was going to pick Riley Herbst, but obviously...
We already know he's got to.
It's not even a pick. That's just a common fact. No, but
I think I went out on a limb the most here saying Coolidge Racing.
I think I don't know, just Austin Cindric. Yes, he won at Phoenix. I understand that flat, shorter track, he could probably get it done there. But I think with how aggressive he was at Phoenix, it's going to cost him. Like, people are not going to give him what he wants. People are going to rub him up a little bit. I mean, he low key put Justin in the fence with the green white checker. Now, even though Justin went higher, that was his fault for going higher. But he's the one who was sliding up in his lane. I mean, sorry, but
where does he start?
Cindric?
Yeah.
6.
Top. I say he's got to be in the top 10.
Who's gonna win? I said it earlier. Ty Gibbs. I think he's just gonna pull.
Yeah, you did say that earlier. Yeah.
I don't know why. I just have this certain feeling that he's just gonna dominate the race. Like, it's gonna be just an awful Xfinity race. I think he's just gonna dominate like a Kyle Busch. But the Cup. Who is? I'm sorry. What was the picks that I said? Oh yeah, who's gonna suck? There's one. Shoot.
There's one. He has multiple.
Everybody
is. I think Denny Hamlin's gonna suck at his best racetrack this weekend.
I can see that. I could see him running like
first finish outside the top 10.
Yeah,
and then just fading the rest of the day.
Kind of like how his last year went.
So his last 3 Martinsville races, he has finished outside the top 10.
Really?
Yes.
I'm surprised.
So just think of that. That just goes to show where he's at. And then who needs a win? I personally think that Chase Elliott needs the win. I think this is going to be his best racetrack to not try something, just go for it and see where we're at in speed versus what we were doing. Because when we go and just try for it, we're the top 3 car every time. It doesn't matter. But who I think is going to win, I think Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is going to pull it off.
Wow.
47
car. Because A.J. Allmendinger was always so good in that car. And Ricky Stenhouse is a really good short track driver.
I agree, but
he does have that.
Disagree with the pick.
He does have the win in the. He's got that win in the 6 car at Richmond with Xfinity.
Yeah.
When he blew up coming to line and Carl Edwards pushed him across.
That wasn't Richmond. That was Iowa.
Yeah.
That was at Iowa.
I took it either way.
Sorry.
No, when you picked Daniel Suarez to win, I was like, holy cow! I thought I was going on a limb. That was a big limb right there.
I like what I'm seeing at the track house, man. They're showing up constantly, week in, week out. Even if it's not running up front, they're solid 15, and that's huge from a brand new team. I think they're gonna do big things, and I think they're gonna show up again this week. And
I imagine RCR is very upset right now because they are getting outperformed with the same equipment to a team that just showed up.
It goes a lot to show what just the right combination.
I mean,
you can't.
I mean, Dillon is doing decent this year. Austin Dillon is. Tyler Reddick.
He's stepped it up a lot from last year coming into this year.
I never thought he was a bad driver.
Getting better.
I
think
Austin Dillon. I never thought he was that bad of a driver. I think the 3 car was perfect for him because, like, in his equipment, that was where his talent was. Like, right there. It was perfect.
Right.
So I don't think he was silver spooned that bad.
I mean, he was in a way, but at the same time, he is trying to prove that he belongs. So And he does give that
Like a
effort.
silver spoon.
I think Ty is better than Austin in general.
I think Ty
agree,
is
and
better.
that's why I was saying earlier that I think he goes to 23-11. I think they recognize it, and hopefully, I mean, I'm not a big Ty Dillon fan. I can care less if he succeeds or not, personally. But
Ooh,
I
I
think
just thought of something.
I think he's going to show up in the Xfinity this year and maybe get a win or two, and I think that's what's going to propel him up into 23-11.
How long is Eric Jones' contract with Richard Petty Motorsports?
2 or 3 years.
Is it 1 year?
No, 2022 it would be his last year for his contract.
Is it the option for Richard Petty to pick it up?
What?
So like how they'll sign a 2-year or 1 year deal with the option,
Right.
like Benedetto did with the 21.
No.
'Cause-
So he signed a 2-year deal last fall.
Okay,
for
okay.
2021 and 2022.
Because I was gonna say I could almost see Eric Jones leaving Richard Petty going to 23-11, Ty Dillon filling in for the 43 as a Toyota.
So my problem, I hope Trackhouse gets that charter for next year. So they don't have the money for that charter for next year, by the way. So that's what Justin Merckx was talking about earlier, how they don't have the money for it to buy it yet. If they get that money, just imagine what could happen if he wins a race. Like, I think they could add a second car after.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think if
Ty Dillon right there.
That's true. But
I don't know. I mean, yeah, but no. I really believe he's going to go to 23-11.
I hope so. Really, I do. I want. Okay, I really want one of the Dillon brothers to succeed because they did not get there all the way from Richard Childress.
No, I mean they came up through the ranks. I mean
he has a
realistically,
So.
Yeah, I mean that's shows a
Ty
lot.
has a truck championship, right?
Yes, he doesn't.
Yeah, Ty has the truck.
Yeah,
Ty has the truck. Dillon.
Does he have a truck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does, yeah.
What year was that?
Like 20.
Wasn't it the same year as Dillon's Xfinity?
No, it was the year after.
That's right.
Dillon won in 2011, so 2012.
Okay. But those are our picks.
That was a while ago, man. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's almost a decade. Well, that was a decade for Dillon.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Quick shout out to everybody listening and anybody future listeners. We do have a weekly racing series, NASCAR Biscuit League. PlayStation 4, if you want to join our league, we race on Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern qualifying. Drop your PlayStation name and we'll get a hold of you. Thank you.
Second thing, I want to appreciate all the viewers. We had 2 likes this podcast. Thanks for liking as well. This is awesome.
And our audio's working today.
Yo, it's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Unlike last week.
Just want to say thank you.
Have you deleted that yet, by the way?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good.
I just want to say thank you all to all the viewers. See y'all next Thursday. Peace out.
Peace.